Hi everybody, I'm back to share number 5 in our 13 Haunted Projects of Halloween series. I cannot believe we are on week 5. It just blows my mind how fast time is going. Anyway, I want to share with you a vertical pocket tag card. It's 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and I made these a long time ago in a Tag Time Tuesday video. I think it was number 16, and I could actually post that below for you. And I was watching some of my old videos. I wanted to make a birthday card for a friend, and I kind of decided to just revise this one a little bit, and I thought since I made this really cute birthday card, this is the vertical pocket tag. This is the inside, wishing you a very happy birthday. And then on the back of the tag I can write my note, and then this is the pocket. Okay, so I just revised a little bit of some of the measurements. And then there's also cute envelopes that go with them. So we'll be making these today. But since I was creating this, I thought this would be a lot of fun to do for our Halloween series. So I made this one. Isn't it cute? I love this paper. And then this is the inside. And then I can write my note on the back of my tag, and it just fits right in the pocket there. And then we'll also make this envelope out of cardstock. So I'm going to show you what I used, and then we'll get started. So I used some of this jumbo confetti. You can get these packs. Well, I got them last year at Walmart. Not sure if they have them again this year, but I used the pumpkin. Then my Happy Halloween sentiment was from this Recollection stamp. I used that on the inside. And the Spooky Sentiment that I stamped and cut out was from the Graphic 45 stamp set. Trying to see if this one has a name. I can't see if it does, but it's the Steampunk Spells, and that's the Spooky Sentiment. And then the paper I used 2 different paper pads from Ms. Sparkle and Company. The Paper Fence and the Paper Haunted House that I purchased these last year. Okay, so this is our tag card. Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to grab my scoreboard. And the first piece you're going to need to make the pocket is a sheet that is 10 3/4 by 4 3/4. And you're going to line it up at the 10 3/4 inches. And you're going to score at 5 1/4. And again at 9 1/4. And then you're going to flip it. Line it up at the 4 3/4 mark, and you're going to score a 1/2 inch on this side. Flip it around, score it a 1/2 inch on the opposite side. And then fold up your score lines. Now this is black cardstock, so I'm going to show you where you're going to cut on the white cardstock. I kind of drew out the lines so that you all can see it better. Let me remove this. And I have a white one right here. So this is basically what it looks like. You have your little flap down here. Okay, this is my little flap. And you're going to cut off this corner here and this corner here. And then you're going to keep these two flaps in here, and you're going to cut these large flaps off. Okay? So keep those flaps and go in and trim the longer flaps off. Now in my old tutorial, this big flap here, I used to mat the whole entire thing, but I just figured, you know what, it's kind of a waste of paper because you're only going to see part of it. So I made a new mat measurement. And I'll give it to you as soon as we put this thing together. Okay. So you should have a piece that looks like this. And basically you're going to fold these two flaps in. This is where we're going to add glue and glue it to this top flap, but not yet. It's going to eventually be glued up this way, and then this little flap here is going to come down, and that's what creates your pocket. Before we do that, we're going to want to mat it, and I also rounded the corners on the bottom flap, and I rounded the corners on the top flap. Okay, so in my older video, I matted this whole section, but I decided I really don't need to do that anymore. Let's get some of this stuff out for us here. Okay, and so I decided to do a new measurement of 2 inches wide by 3 5/8 long, and I'm just going to round the corners for the top piece here. And 2 inches will definitely be long enough that you, even if you look down into the pocket, like on here, you can still see the spiderweb paper. But it, you know, it goes far enough down, but not too far that you're wasting your whole decorative piece. Okay, so let's line that up. These pocket tag cards are so cute. Okay, now we're going to put glue on our flaps, or double, you know, two-sided tape, whatever you choose to use. I'm just using a little bit of glue. And I'm going to flop that up, press it down. Okay, now before I adhere my flap down, I have a sheet here that I actually did choose to use a full piece. And this measures 3 7/8 by 3 5/8. And I put a little lace under my little flap. You don't have to do that. You could actually, in another video, I think in the tag video I made a long time ago, I wrapped twine around the flap and then glued it down, made a little bow here. It's, you know, cute to do that too. Whatever, however you want to decorate it, it's up to you. Sorry, that noise was my phone getting a text message. Okay, so up here, before I glue my flap or mat it, I'm going to add my lace, and all I do is put a little bit of, let me get another stick here, a little bit of hot glue, and then kind of line up my lace. And then I'll put a little bit more hot glue, just because it works pretty well for me. And I'm going to flop that down, and then I'm going to trim off the excess lace there. My scissors. Okay, and so for this little flap here, I used a piece that measures 1 3/8 by 3 5/8, and I'm gonna round the bottom because my flap is rounded, and add some glue. Line that up. And then I've already added some foam to the back of my pumpkin confetti here. I'm going to put him on. Okay, and then across from it, I just made little banner pieces. So I'm going to glue those on as well. It's all personal preference how you want to decorate it. I just thought I would go through the steps of how I did this one. I may add a little bit of bling to it yet, kind of like I did on the birthday one, but I haven't decided if I like it this way or if I want to add a little sparkle, more sparkle to it. Maybe some glitter glue accents. I don't know yet. Okay, so my 2 banner pieces, and then my spooky sentiment I've already cut out and put foam on the back for dimensions. So we're going to pop that on, and then we'll get started on our tag. Okay, so as you can see, the pockets come together fairly easy. Now for the tag, for my tab part up here, I measured a piece that is 1.5 inches long by 3/4 inches wide, and all I did was fold it in half. And that's how I made my pull tab. So I'm going to set that aside, and now we're going to create our tag. So the tag is made of black cardstock, so I put some white cardstock on the back. That measures, the mat in the back measures 4 7/8 by 3 7/8, and I've already created my tag. I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to make the base and the front part of the tag. Okay, you're going to need your cutter for this. And your black cardstock for the tag measures 5 inches by 3.5. You're going to line, I showed you guys how to do this on another tag video, but I'll show you again. You're going to line this bottom right corner with your 2-inch cut line. Put the point right on it. And then this point over here, you're going to line it with your first black line on the other side of your cut line. Go to the black line and trim. And we just created that part of our tag. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. This corner goes on the 2-inch mark. This corner goes past my cut line to the first black line that I see. And this just created our tag base. Now for the matting, the mat is 4 7/8 by 3 3/8. I'm going to do the same thing to this. The bottom right hand corner goes on the 2-inch line. The top right goes past my cut line to the first black line, and I'm creating my tag. Flip it over, same thing, bottom corner on the 2-inch line. Top right corner goes past the cut line to the first black line. And now basically all you need to do is mat it up. And the mat size that I gave you kind of gives you a 1/8 inch border around your tag. Now you don't really need to do a white piece in the back. Like if you wanted to write your sentiment or your note to whoever with a white jelly roll pen, you can do that. I just decided to mat my back as well. And I see that my battery is going on my camera, so if this cuts off, I'm truly, truly sorry about that. Okay. And then I'm just going to glue my tab on. And kind of center it, fold it over. And if this does cut off, I will be back to do the envelope that this fits into. And we're going to line that in the center, and that's it. We've just created our tag. Okay, so let's get started on the envelope. Maybe we can actually get it done before the batteries go. Our envelope, you're going to need a paper that measures 9 by 8.5. You're going to line it up at the 9-inch mark and score at 2.5. And again at 6.5. You're going to flip it, line it up at the 8.5 inch, score at 1.5, and again at 7.5. We're going to fold up our score lines, and we're going to be cutting off all 4 corners of this envelope. So these 2 bottom corners are going to come off. Come on, fingers. And the 2 top corners are going to come off. And then to put it together, I just used my tape runner, and you fold one flap in, run your tape runner on the edge of that. Then before you fold this flap over, you run your tape runner on the edge of that one. Fold it closed, and then the bottom flap that only measures 1.5 inches, you want to glue that up. And then I rounded this top part here. And then in the center, I used my 1-inch circle punch, went in halfway, and punched out a little circle. And that's it, guys. That is our envelope. I am so glad I got that completed before my battery ran out. I hope you guys have fun creating your vertical pocket tag cards. If you have any questions, let me know. Take care and happy crafting.